What's up, guys? So in today's video we are going to be reading this article preview components challenge from Frontendmentor. So before we demo it, there's nothing really to demo here. It's just that if I click on this share icon here, I get this pop-up, and if I click on it, it closes. And it's actually a newbie challenge, and you can head over to frontendmentor.io/challenges to follow along. And it's also responsive, so if I scale this down, I see it's responsive, and if I click this, see it's coming in as it should. Alright guys, so let's dive right into the video. Alright, so I have VS Code installed, and don't worry about the many files, and let me just close all of them that you are seeing, because I'll just quickly run through them. So if you downloaded the challenge, you'll see some folders like this one, the design folder. Ignore this one, this is from my own stuff. Then they will give you some assets as well, and they also provide you an index.html file that contains all the contents you need, but I've gotten rid of them. Then they'll give you readme templates and a style guide that you should follow as well. But I've quickly like I said, I've quickly gotten rid of the content on the HTML and brought in fonts, the man-rope fonts that they told us to use. And I also, if I go to the style.css guide, I've also set up the colors. But if you go to the guide, the colors are here as well. So those are just the basic things I've already done. I also have a script.js file, because we'll be adding a little bit of JavaScript as well. So okay, before I forget, I have the design file on Figma. It's actually a PNG image, so not an actual design, but we'll work with what we have. So the first thing to do is, like I always do, I like breaking things into sections. So this entire card will be in a container. Then we'll break this to be inside another container. Then think, yeah, this will still be on another section, as well as this one will be on another div. If you are confused about section and div, it's quite the same. I just mean the same thing. I think that's about that. So that's just the idea of what we'll be doing. So if I go back to VS Code, I can just close this and bring this down. As you can see, this is empty, so we'll quickly add some structure to the code. So the first thing is to create a div, and we'll call this preview container. Let me spell this right. And inside that preview container, like I said, we'll have another, let's just call this container, that will hold the actual image. So this will hold the image, and another div will hold the actual content, but both of them will be under this parent container right here, which is under this one. So let me call this div with a class of image, and bring the image. So the image was I think it was drawers. Then the content will be a class of content. Inside this content, we'll create another div called inner, I will explain why in a bit. And inside that inner, we'll have an h1. I will call this shift the overall look and feel by adding these wonderful touches. So furniture in your home. I could have just brought in the text. So under it we have a p text, and I'll quickly bring the text because it's quite long. So I'll bring it in and we'll continue shortly. Alright, I brought in the text, and the next thing to do is to create this profile right here. So to do that, what am I doing? Okay, so to do that, we'll just simply come to, let's still be inside this inner div, and to make it simple, let me just add comments to this. So say profile, and will be a class of profile, and we'll have on that one for the profile details to actually hold the these details right here. So this will be, I just call these details, and we'll bring in an image. I think it's this one. Then under it we'll bring a class called info, and inside this info class, let me just add some comments right here. Say info or profile info. So inside this we'll have an html with some text. So we say Michelle, this appleton, is that correct? Yeah, and the date, we'll put the date in your span tag. So say 28 June 2020. All right, cool. Let's save and see what we have so far. Okay, next we need to bring in the share icon. So the share icon, let me close out this div. So we'll close this out. We'll have so we'll call this icon or share icon. Then this should be inside the button. I'll give this a class of share icon. Inside that button, we'll just bring in the image and say this one icon share. So let's see. All right, cool. So the next thing is to bring in the social links, and remember that we have to do that outside this inner div, because we'll be adding padding to this inner div, but we won't want that padding to affect these social links right here. So make sure we are out of the inner div and say social links, and this will be social links. Inside that social links, we'll have a class of dflex, because we're adding display flex to what is inside this. So we'll bring in a span tag, and this should be share. Yes, Then under the shell, we'll bring in the actual social links. So put this inside an li tag and image as well. So the first one will be Facebook. I'll copy this 2 more times. Okay, I said Facebook, not favicon. Facebook. Then the next will be, what was that? Twitter and Pinterest. So we'll say Twitter. And the last one will be Pinterest. If I save, okay, it's actually there, but it's white, so it's contrasting. You can't actually see it. So I believe that's what we need for now. If there's anything, we'll just come back and just add it later. All right, cool. So let's style it. So I've already connected my style sheet. Where is it? To make sure you've linked your style.css so that your actual style should work. And the first thing we'll do is to, let me first get rid of the margin, set the box size into border box and set the padding to 0. All right, cool. So the next thing to do is to add a max width of 100 to this image so that it should have a maximum width of its container. So say image and set max width to 100%. So you see that the image is no longer overflowing. And we need to get rid of this bullet point. So say li, set the list out to none. The next thing to do is to set this pan to be display of inline block so that we can add margin to it. So the next thing to do is to actually grab the body, and we'll give this a font family of manrope. Fallback should be sans serif. Okay, then the background color they didn't actually give us, so I wrote that down. Let me look for it. So EA F1 F7. Okay, that's cool. So the next thing is to target the preview container, and inside the preview container we'll give this a margin inline of 1 rem. Then also add a margin block of 2 rem. So margin inline is for just say margin left and right. The margin block is for the margin top and bottom. Cool. So that's kicking in right here. Next thing to do is to grab the container and set the margin to inline. So margin inline should be auto radar, but this won't make sense except we add a max width of, let's just say 800 pixels. So it shouldn't, this container now, this whole thing shouldn't go 800 pixels, and it should be centered once it hits that 800 pixel threshold. Bring this down. Okay, so the next thing to do, stay inside this container. We're not done yet. We'll add the background color of white. They didn't give that to us as well. I don't know why the colors they give is actually different from the colors I use most times. Then we'll add the border radius of 1 rem. Then we'll set position to relative. It should be relative, and overflow, we'll set the overflow to hidden. So this overflow and this position relative will be for the social links, but we're adding position absolute to it. Then for this image itself, we will still add let me grab the image and say border top right radius 1 rem, and copy this down. It should be border top right and border top left. All right, so if I get rid of this, you can see that it's still showing, but when we get to bigger screens, this will this won't have that curve edge, because this curve edge right now is coming from the container, which is this, but we'll still need to add it to the image as well. Then the content, just grab the content, and the padding top should be 2.5 rem. Padding bottom, we'll give it offset to 1.5 rem. All right, then this, see that it's still stuck to the ending, so get the inner, so we'll say content inner, and we'll set the padding inline, which is left and right, to 1 rem. So you can see that everything is taking this padding except this share right here, which is what we want. So let's just style this h1 quickly, because it doesn't look nice. We'll say content h1, font size, we'll set it to 1.4 rem. Okay, that's nice. Then line height, let's just reduce the line height to 1.4 as well. Color is going to be this very dark grayish blue. And font weight will make it 800. Then the margin bottom will add 1 rem to this to add some spacing under it. So what we have to do right now is to style the p tag. So we'll set the line height to 1.6. The color this time will be this saturated dark blue. We'll set the margin bottom and add 1 rem to it. Then for the font weight, we'll just add 500. All right, is there any other thing? It's fine, but let's still add like some margin bottom to, like, let's increase the margin bottom instead of using 1 rem, because I believe for these there was a lot of spacing right here. So let me make it to 2.5 instead. Okay, that's not bad. I think that's all for the p tag. So for this profile, call it profile. So the first thing to do is to display it flex. So we say display flex. All right, then align items to center, and we justify. We'll add space between to the justify content. Then we need to bring down the size of this image. So we say profile, then grab the image and set the height to, let's say 50 pixels. Then we'll copy this down and also set the width to 50 pixels as well. And let's make it round. So we'll say border radius of 50%. All right, cool. So now know that this whole stuff is still inside a div called details. So we say profile, then we say details. Don't worry about this, we'll bring this down in a bit. Then we'll say display flex as well to it. Line item should be center, and add a gap of 1.2 rem to it. Okay, so we'll still do some styling to this as well. So we'll say profile info and the h3 or the font size of 1.1 rem. Margin bottom will be 2 rem, and let's also change the color as well. So we'll say very dark saturated blue. That work? Let's see. Okay, that worked. And let's still bump up the font weight. We'll say font weight should be 600. All right, cool. Then for this span right here, we'll say profile info, and we'll say span. And the only thing we'll just do is just to add the color. So that this light color we used here. All right, cool. So the next thing to do is to bring down the size of this share icon. So we say share icon, and what we'll do is to set this I wanted to say size, but that's for tailwind. We'll set the width as well, and the width will just say 50 pixels, and the height should be 50 pixels as well. Okay, that worked. It's not bad. But this share icon is for the button. We'll still need to add like a specific size. I keep on saying size, specific width and height to the image. So if I say this should be 10, and this should be 10. See that the image is big, but this button is not small. And while we are there, let me just make it simpler for myself. Since I keep saying size, I will just say 10 pixels right here, so that I will just be able to like make changes to this one. So we want to reuse this size variable right here. Yeah, so we just need to change it once. All right, let me just set this to 50. 50 will work. Then we'll style this as well, the image as well, but let's just keep going. Then we'll set the outline so none, to get rid of the outline and the border. Okay, then the background color, we'll set it to E B F to FA. Okay, then we'll set the cursor to pointer, so that we'll have the pointer. And we also want to make it round, so say border radius set to 50%. Okay, now for that, so let's also style the image right now. So we'll say share icon, grab the image, and we'll do the same thing we do. So copy this right here, but this time we'll make this smaller, so we'll just say 30 pixels. And we'll just say the object fit should be cover. So you see it's coming in right now. And while we're there, I'm thinking that I should still reduce this. Let me just say 23. Okay, that's not bad. I'm not aiming for perfection, so that's cool. Then we'll just bring this to like 45. Okay, but this is not centered, so we'll just say add the display of flex to the container and align items, center, justify content will be centered. So you can see now it's now centered properly. Okay, cool. So let's tell the social links. So we say social links and add a display of flex, align items. So before I do that, let me just bring the background color and set it to this very dark bridge blue so you can see what we're doing. So align items, center, the border bottom left will be 1 rem, border bottom right radius will also be 1 rem as it is in the design. Alright, so leave it like this because we're going to be hiding this in a bit. Then what else we need to do? Let's just give it a height of 100 pixels. Then the width will be 100%. Then what the position of absolute. So this absolute is kicking in and is hiding because of the overflow we set earlier. Then we'll make the bottom and just get rid of. Okay, should we make it? Let me just bring this to -8 for now to make it go under, because right now it's showing when we set to 0. So let's just set it to -8. So just hide it. Then before we hide it, I think we still need to like still style it properly. It's not well styled, yeah. So let's first of all add padding inline of 1 rem. And we also need to add a justify content of space between. This right here is not coming because we need to target the display flex. So we say social links and display flex should be display of flex. All right. Then the gap of 1 rem. Okay, cool. Then we'll grab this. I know we're adding a bunch of flex, but it's the way we structured our code. Then we'll also add this to the links as well. So you can see, then this we just add a line items of center to this. Okay, and we also want to show that share icon. So we say z-index, set it to, let's just say 20. All right, come on. Then what we'll do right now is to style this span tag right here. I believe we just leave this one as it is. You can add some styles if you want. Let's see what they did. Okay, they just make it big, but we leave it as it is. Right, cool. Then for the span tag, we'll grab the social links and we'll just target the span. So we say text transform should be uppercase. Let's add some data spacing of like 3 pixels. Font size should be 1 rem. And the font weight should be 500, and the color should be this saturated dark blue. So let me increase this font weight to like 700. Okay, it's kind of contrasting, but we just leave it as it is. I think that's all good. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. Because if we look at it on smaller screens, yeah, it's not really bad. So we'll leave it like this. So the next thing to do is to hide this by default, and you can see that the color for this actually changed when, so the color for this actually changed right here, and the icon also changed to white, which will still do. Let's just do that right now. So we'll add -8 to this to hide it for now, and we'll just add the active class that will bring in on our JavaScript, but for now we'll just set it to 0. So when we toggle over this should come in, and while we are there, we also add the transition. So our transition, I set it to bottom. Let's say 0.3 seconds is enough. I think 0.3 seconds will do. We'll also grab the share active. So the share, I'll just make it active. You can just say share icon active, but I think this will do. Then we'll set the background color to 6E rather 8098. So if we have that share social links, this background that is holding the share icon should change, and the share active image, so the image itself should change. And to just change that, we just add filter and increase the brightness and just make it 10. All right, cool. So I believe we can start adding some functionality to this before we make it responsive. So go back to our index.html, and underneath for the body, we just bring in the script tag, set the source to be script.js, and open our script tag. Let's just check if this is working. So const console.log running. So it's running right here. So this is coming from an extension called console ninja. Okay, so I'm good to go. So the first thing is to grab the button, which is this button. Say document query selector, say share icon, and also grab the social links. So let me call this social links, and this will be coming from the social links. So we're querying the social links and the share icon. So what I want to do is that if we add an event listener and set it to listen for a click, I want to run a function, and the first thing that I want to do is to actually toggle the active class. All right, so if we click on this, you can see that this is coming in, and we'll click on this is going out. So that's solved one problem. Then leave the text into this to actually change the colors right now, and to do that is quite simple. So we just add a check to see if the button class list contains this share active. So if it contains the share active, then what we want to do is to remove it. So if there's the share active is really active, they want to just get rid of it. So say remove, and we set this to share active, and inside it also want to remove the share active image. So I want to remove the this background and remove the color of this icon right here. Then we'll say else. Can just copy this one, paste it right here, and just add it. So by the time you click on this, see that this is changed to white, and when we close, it changed back to the color that's the default color. All right, that works. So the next thing I want to do is to just add media query. So I believe let's just start at, let's say, media, and say min width. We'll start at 768 pixels, but we'll just open this wide so I can see it very well. First thing we'll do is to grab the preview container, and we'll set the height to 100 VH. Then, so it's taking the full height, so we need to still get rid of this margin right here. Then next thing to do is to center it on the screen. So say display of grid, place items should be center. Then we'll get rid of the margin block. So for the top and bottom, we just set it to 0. Okay, this should be margin block. All right, I just remembered something. Did we? Okay, yeah, so we're setting this to 0. So that works fine. The next thing to do right now is to grab the container and we'll set this display of flex. See that that's already kicking in. Nice. Then we'll add a gap of 1 rem, and the overflow will change it to visible, so we don't want to hide that share social links anymore. Then for the content itself, we'll add a padding right of 1 rem, padding bottom of 2 rem, and we'll add a flex basis. So this flex basis is more like setting the width of this content, so giving this content a particular width. So we want to make this and this kind of okay, we don't want to make it even, so we want to add more width to this than this image as it is on this right here. So the width has the content has more width than the image. So we'll fix this stuff in a bit. So we'll set this to 60%. So since we're setting that to 60%, we'll then set the image to first basis, set to 40% to make up 100%. So as you can see, it's working as it should right now. Then we'll then grab the image itself and set the border radius to 0. Then the border right, border bottom left, we'll set it to 1 rem. Then the border top, is it top left? Let's see, top left 1 rem. Yeah. Then the height should be 100% of the container, which will span out through. And the reason why this, okay, let me just do it right here again. Object fit cover. Okay, yeah. So it's now covering and taking the actual size. So I believe what we'll do right now is to style the social links. So let me bring my VS Code to this side so that you see what's actually going on. So we'll say social links and we'll set the width to a fixed value of 250 pixels. Then the bottom we'll set it to like 6.5. Then set a right to -4 so it should be at the top as it is in the design. And I just remember that we need to add this should I call it this inverted triangle right here. So I guess where should we do this? Okay, we need to first of all go back to our index and put it somewhere. So I'm thinking that it should be the same place as holding the social links. So let's just put it here. I'll call this let's call this triangle. Triangle, yeah. All right, so we'll see if that works. Then still working on these social links. Set the border radius to 1 rem, so that should be on all sides. I'll give it a height of 50 pixels. Cool. Then add the transform and scale it to 0, but for now we'll leave it because we are still working on it. Then add the transition, I'll just set the transform to be 0.3 seconds. Easy out. All right, cool. So this time we'll grab the active class and we should change it to scale of 1 instead of the bottom value. Then for the social links, we'll grab the flex and we'll set the justify content to center it as well. Give it a width of 100%. So it's not working now, but when we set the width 100%, it should be centered. Then that triangle, it's kind of inverted, so I believe let's just call this inverted triangle, so that will be clear what we want to do. So inverted triangle. So the way it works is we'll use the border to actually achieve it. So we set the width to 0 at first, so we don't want any width, we don't want any height. Then we'll say the border left, we'll set it to let's just say red, then solid, and let's set it to 200 pixels for now. Then since the border right should be the same as well, so the border right will be the same. So since they are the same, we just set the width, set it to 200 pixels. This is actually big, so let's set this to the width. It should be width, then it should be width. And I just realized the width actually comes first, not the. Then we'll copy this one I don't know if it matters, but just to be on the safer side, copy this one, paste it here. So we'll save. I'll need to add this to this. Okay. Then the border top will be same with, then it'll be solid, and let's make this blue. Let's see if this will work. So you're seeing that this is already working. So let me just add position absolute and set the left to 50%. So I believe it should be right here. So I think the issue is the way we are structuring our HTML. So this have a look, is taking this under this. Let me cut this now. Let me try to put it underneath this flex. Okay, so I believe it should be there. But you can see that this is looking more like an envelope, sort of. So this width right here for the left, adding 200 100 pixels of red, the same with the blue, the same with the right. Then the top right here is we're still setting into the width of 100%. But the thing is that we don't need the red to show, we only need this blue part. So to achieve that, guys, we'll just set this to transparent and set it to transparent, and we change this to this very dark grayish blue. Then we just need to bring up the ASC 20 worked, 3. Then we need to set the bottom to like 1 rem. Okay, I think we have to use a negative number. Yeah, so we say ASC 0.9, not 0. But this is not being centered in the middle. So to achieve that, we need to add a transform of translate x and set it to negative 50%. All right, so this is working fine. So let's just test it out to see. So if I close this, it shouldn't work. So let's try it again. And the reason why it's not working is because we need to add the scale of set it back to 0. So you can see that it's working nice. And you can see that it's also responsive as well. So that's the end of the video. Hope you learned something from this, even though I was just kind of all over the place. So do it to drop any questions, and also leave a like if you found the video helpful. See you next time.